Let's talk about the filter today. Basically, the camera's standard lens and then camera itself need a filter. Some people doesn't like to use a filter because extra optical things. But I believe it always from dust, from anything, moisture is help. So I recommending people to use it. Ultraviolet filter, UV filter. This is a transparency. It's not necessary to change anything on the camera. Exposure, no effect. Okay, so just put it, every lenses, I have this UV filter on the top of the lenses. This is very important, especially in the back or when you crash, you forget to keep it the filter clips, lens cap, and then lens knock it on the ground, and then you have to pay a lot of money. So this is always protecting a lot. So please you keep it ultraviolet UV filter all your lenses. It's good. Especially if we are using the black and white, we need a contrast filter. This contrast filter starting from yellow, orange, and then red. So because of the black and white, it's not exactly film sensitivity is equal to the human's eye. So human sensitivity is a little bit different. So we cut it, that ray of the blue, little bit bluish light. So we needed amber color, warmer color. This is stronger. If you make it this one, the clouds and everything become very high contrast. So usually black and white, originally 50s, 60s, all photographers use this one. It's as a standard filter. Okay, now come to the PL filter. Polarizing filter is very important for color photograph, even black and white. Originally, we use polarizing filter. It's linear, one line. They're cutting the one line reflection from water surface or from the sky. So you have to put it, apply on the lens, and then you can turn. So depends on the marking. You can see the clouds and the blue skies contrast, or water surface reflection is changing. For example, like a pond, you can see the carp inside or not. Okay, but this filter, you have to watch it. The filter is all one line. So this one also same one. If you put two together, can you see the effect? Center become black. Mean there's no light going through the camera. So this PL filter, originally one, we don't use it because camera's autofocus system, camera's exposure sensor is become a little bit off because of the no light going through behind the lens, right? So this is all camera I'm recommending to use this PL filter, original one. If you have a black and white film, no exposure meter inside, only shutter speed, aperture you change, this is good. But you have to compensate the light, become a little bit dark, so you have to open aperture or use a slow shutter speed. So now we have this new type of the polarizing filter, they call PLC. So if you want to use digital together, digital camera and then your conventional old camera, please buy this because this one is same filter they use, but basically they use another filter adapter inside, so they never match it, the line, vertical horizontal line. So they never become blackout, right? So this one is, effect is not strong. I don't like so much. I prefer to use O1, but new digital camera or even the DSLR and then SLR, electric autofocus and the electric exposure meter inside camera, you can use this one. is better because it's not block out all the light. All right, and then this is a very conventional filter. We call it gelatin filter. It's not like this glass filter by sheet. Light balancing filter is your cameras. If you are using digital camera, that's white balance, right? If you are white balance, fluorescent light, tungsten light, sunlight, you can collect the light balancing filter. So you have a lot of different type of filter. But this is, I think probably you don't need to use it. This is a CC filter, color compensating filter. If you want to have a little bit reddish, little bit yellowish, little bit magenta, you can control the color. But this one also, if you are using in the computer, you can control the color much faster. So this is a very old filter. You don't need it. But just you remember, light balancing filter, CC filter, this is all come to your camera's white balance system. Very convenient, right? And then this is a cable release. If we use all cameras and then use a long exposure, for example, you want to take a night scene, 5 seconds, like a general secretariat in KL sunset time. If you put on the camera this side, and then you can press shutter trigger by this cable. So you don't need to press the camera. So the camera has no vibration. So cable release, this is quite useful. But if you have a digital, you can use a timer to do that. Other than that, I always recommending people as a photographer to hold, I call it this magic bag. Everybody laugh about. But this is always I have to carry, even whatever portrait, model shooting, factory shooting, I have to carry this. The important is compass, very important. Of course, important is watch too. Time you have to check it. Other than that is the leveler. The camera is level now. So you have to use the top of the camera and then check. Even you use a tripod, you have to understand the camera is a little bit crooked. So if especially using 135, you crop again smaller, and the image becomes smaller and smaller, right? So instead, make it always level. It's very important. This is interesting because we take photograph scenery, sometimes nice blue sky, strong sun, but sometimes cloudy, but the sun's behind. You don't know when the sun coming up. So we always follow the sun. We check in the sun, handmade, check in the sun. So sunglasses, very strong black. So always we checking where the sun, and then coming up another few more minutes. Okay, wait, don't take photograph. And then, coming up, and then you can take photograph. Some cloud viewer, this self-made, okay? Other than that, it's blower brush maintenance, and then brush for cleaning the dust from the camera lenses, and then cleaning the lens with the lens cleaner, cleaning paper. You put it and then you can clean. Either you can use the pincet to take the paper and then clean, right? Scissors. And then for 135, usually we use this one. It's very important because somehow the film is already going inside. So this is a film picker. You have to put the inside the film all gone, so you cannot have a leader parts. So we put this one, and then we picked up the film's leader parts from the cartridge, film picker. So emergency, if I use a 10 roll standby, but I use a almost everything. So which unexposed film, I can take it out and then I can reuse again, right? So this is the basic things. Importance, another one is mirror, because sometimes the camera position in the factory or studio, the camera is too low or too high, you cannot see the top LCD. You have shutter speed, aperture. Sometimes you want to see what in the cameras. You can see this small mirror. It's very useful. I use for a long time. Other than that is, as you know, small screwdriver for maintenance of the lens, cameras, tiny screw. And then this is for close-up to take photograph. So I show you the inches, that scale. So I can see how much close-up with the close-up effect. So this is the one, how much the close-up going to the frame, and then I can see 1 stop, 2 stop, or half stop. I have to compensate on the camera. But this is the old days camera. If you use the digital camera, camera's exposure method is very good, very great. So you don't need to worry so much. But essential things, compass is very important. Whatever you go, if you go to the first place to reach there, just you have to understand east, west, north, south, because when the sun coming out tomorrow, which side, and then sunset is which side. So you can just roughly you can guide it which way to take photograph. This is a morning sun, this is afternoon sun. So you can gauge it with compass, right? And then also the watch is very important. Label is another important thing. So you don't forget. I have this rubber, small one. This is a maintenance for all the screw. Cannot open it. So I open it with this one to stuck all the screw. So I use this, but not very often. But this tree and then blower, any type of blower, when you are shooting, before you shoot, clean the lens first, your lens surface. Because whatever you go, sure the dust is there. So you cannot be 100% perfect photograph. So it's nice to have a blower brush to dust it off. Making sure don't touch it, by the finger. Okay, that's all today.